Stadio Bervoets becomes first Dutch Caribbean inductee in the Explorers Club. More of the stakeholders who participated in the sports open house, and Minister of Teyat says she cannot give an exact date for the reopening of businesses. Those are the headlines for Friday, September the 18th, 2020. Good evening, viewers. This is SXM Daily News. I am Valerie Van Putten. Thanking you so much for joining me this evening. And as usual, we have a full newscast, so let's get started. In our first story, Minister of Teyat, the Honorable Ludmila de Wever, speaking at the Council of Ministers' weekly press briefing last Wednesday, when asked about the reopening of businesses, which include nightclubs and other nightlife entertainment, the minister says that she cannot give an exact date for the opening of businesses. When asked what is she doing to help mitigate the problems with many businesses throwing in the towel and closing their doors permanently, the minister expounded.
Businesses opening, I cannot give an exact date because of the fact that the measures that we have been taking, according to the advice of the medical professionals, you saw that with the limitations and restrictions of activities, our numbers have been going down. Now, when you add that into the fact that awareness of the virus and ways of keeping ourselves safe is also increased, we are more aware, then that is the important thing to take away here from this, is the fact that our actions have been improving it. I would like things to be open as much as possible, but we can't, right now, I cannot give you an exact date because we're just trying to minimize the control of it. So I'm sorry that I don't have an exact answer for you, other than the fact that we will continue controlling this in accordance with the advice we're getting. And hopefully that by the time October comes around, we will be able to see more openings. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Minister. As a follow-up, the number of businesses that have been affected due to this pandemic, number of them has throw in the towel, so to speak, as far as business is concerned. So what business model or what information stats are you using to continue to make the decision to limit hours and limit business for these businesses? And has there been any type of package incentive being worked on by your ministry for these struggling businesses?
Well, the thing is that I've been actively being in touch with the cabinet of the Minister of Finance to ensure that the people that have been closed were eligible for payroll support, and they have been. Of course, as a reminder, being eligible for payroll support means that everything has to be up to date. And that is the message that I've received from the Ministry of Finance as their conditions for it. But I have been reaching out to SFA, to the Minister of Finance, to his staff, to ensure that we are helping them out as much as we can. And in terms of the data for all of my decision making, knowing my background, it's the data that I'm getting from CPS actively, from the 3 epidemiologists that are visiting, that are probably sick of me because I call them every day and I email every day for updates. Because without data, whether it is the airlines, whether it's from the hotels, any other stakeholders, especially with the medical, the statistics that I'm getting from them, I cannot make a decision without data to support my decision, and it is there and it is sufficient, and you see it based on the numbers going down, and I hope it continues to have that downward trend, because all of us need things to get back to normal as much as possible right now.
Meanwhile, Minister of Public Health, the Honorable Richard Panafleck, responding to a question about the diabetic monitor and faulty readings that have garnered several complaints, and with the St. Martin Anti-Poverty Platform, SAPP, threatening a lawsuit, the Minister of VSA said that preliminary investigations have been done, and he expounded on that topic as well.
Concerning the test that you're referring to, I have did some preliminary requests for information, and I was told, waiting for the official report to come to me, that test has been done with these machines, and at the present they couldn't find out of the lab test that they did any fault. But like I said, seeing that you are asking about this quite some time already, and it's good that you remind me to ask them for the official report. But what I was told so far is that lab tests were done to figure out the accuracy of this machine, and they couldn't fault, no faulty. Perhaps one of these days I will do a program, maybe that is interesting, with different kind of things for the general population to be aware of how they have to do their test. Because these tests, being one myself, if you do not take the blood sample correctly, it might, yes, give you faulty information. There are particular ways what you have to do. Right now, I'm not going to do it, but I will get the professionals in a program and leave them explain, just like about health, how you take care of your own health to build up your immune systems and all those kind of things. Pretty soon, seeing now that we might have some time to do those kind of things, because we were very concentrated getting the figures, the numbers down on the COVID pandemic that is rising on St. Martin, anyway. So as soon as I get an official report, I will be sharing that also.
And in other news, in this COVID-related update, 8 persons who were tested on Thursday, September the 17th, tested positive for COVID-19, increasing the active cases to 69. The total number of confirmed cases is now 565. The Collective Prevention Services, CPS, are monitoring 64 people in home isolation. 4 patients remain hospitalized at the St. Martin Medical Center, and 1 patient is isolated and is being monitored. The total number of deaths due to COVID-19 remains at 19. The number of people recovered since the first case surfaced on St. Martin remains at 477. 120 people are in quarantine based on contact tracing investigations carried out by CPS of persons who may have been in contact with any of the active cases. 9 additional tests were conducted throughout the community by CPS, bringing the total number to 1,849, while testing at the Princess Juliana International Airport, PJIA, remained at 961. As the numbers continue to fluctuate, CPS will continue to actively execute its contact tracing measures. And it bears repeating once more that we should continue to work towards a COVID-free St. Martin. Please wear your masks, practice social distancing, sanitize your hands frequently, wash your hands with soap, and refrain from mass gatherings. And still to come, Councillor of the Hope Party on Friends St. Martin says he is pleased with the decision taken to reopen the border. We'll have the details to that story and much more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News, and I am Valerie Van Putten. And as we continue now in this item out of the police blotter, the prosecutor's office issued a warrant for the arrest of a suspect for his involvement in a home invasion which took place in April earlier this year. On Wednesday, September the 16th, the detectives of KPSM were able to arrest CSC, age 18, at his home without incident. In a previously issued press release dated April the 10th, it was explained that the suspect or suspects entered the home by prying through the kitchen window. While in the home, the perpetrator or perpetrators stole several items, including the keys to the home's owner's vehicle, before fleeing the scene in the victim's car. The perpetrator is being held at the Phillipsburg Police Station pending further investigations. And due to the number of people who came out to show solidarity and march against the border closure on Wednesday morning, and the solidarity shown by the Dutch side, the prefect, Madame Sylvie Faucher, decided to reverse her decision and reopened the frontier. Previously, the prefect had announced that the border controls would have stayed in place until the 1st of October. However, following the manifestation of hundreds of persons who turned out on Wednesday last, she met with the organizers of the march, at which time the decision to lift the border controls was taken. Leader of the Hope Party of French St. Martin, Councilman Jules Charville, is a member of Swaliga United, the organizers of the protest action. He was on the program Viewpoint with Wendell Moore on Thursday afternoon.
If the turnout was just a few hundred, like they claim, we would not have that leverage. She would not have given in. The numbers spoke. The population has spoken. And I'm not saying one side is both sides come together. I was very, very pleased, really pleased to see the Prime Minister with the unity flag in her hand and the protests, other MPs, other ministers, and the prefect saw that. Which I asked on the meeting, I said, did you look at those images? Meaning, hey, this was not just any kind of demonstration. This is a serious protest. And I think that's where that came from. No, in the meeting, we were very respectful. She was too. A lot of people consider her interventions on radio very arrogant, but she was not. She was not arrogant. No one was arrogant with her. But she did get angry here and there, according, and particularly when I told her, I said, I always got the impression that you're blaming the Dutch side for contaminating us. And I can tell you that go over there often, and the way I see them operating, each business you go into, you have to sanitize your hand, you need to put on a mask. And I said, even checking temperature in some places, and I said, I don't see the same thing over here. And that, of course, she doesn't want to hear that. And she got real angry. Are you telling me that I'm not doing my job? And then, she got into that kind of stuff. But that was not the situation. And I think that was an attempt to make us change our mind about insisting on yesterday, the opening. She said that the airport in Grand Cause eventually will be closed, or the airport in Guadeloupe will be closed, meaning will close soon, meaning that we are the ones contaminating Guadeloupe. Now, that's a joke. Why? Because Guadeloupe now is over 1,000 cases, going towards more 1,500, 1,600 cases. I heard you at the beginning mentioning, I think we are at 60 or something like that 61 on the Dutch side, probably 100 or so on the French side. But tell me how a country that got 60 and 100 can contaminate a country that got a few thousand. And so that's how they're making it sound. The gentleman, not the prefect, that was there from the ARS, I still want to blame the Dutch side for having contaminated some vacationers from Guadeloupe that came here, went back Guadeloupe, and as if we are in St. Martin, French side, Dutch side. St. Martin is the place that is contaminating all those islands, and that is unacceptable to us. But I think she tried that, he too, for us to say, well, no, we don't want you to do that, so keep the barricades for one more week. That didn't work. We insisted that, yes, we will be responsible. We are responsible people. We have learned how to live with this virus. We are. Of course, we see some attitude where some people feel that this virus could never touch them. They can't get sick. They can't get COVID. That's a long conception. But we have to act as responsible persons.
And in other news at this time, Dutch Caribbean conservationist Tatio Bervoets has become the first Dutch Caribbean national to be accepted into the prestigious Explorers Club. The Explorers Club is an international multidisciplinary professional society dedicated to the advancement of field research and the ideal that it is vital to preserve the instinct to explore. Since its inception in 1904, the club has served as a meeting point and unifying force for explorers and scientists worldwide. The Explorers Club headquarters is located at 46 East 70th Street in New York City. Bervoets was accepted into the club based on his contribution to natural science and protected area and species conservation in the Dutch and wider Caribbean region. Bervoets was born on St. Martin to a local St. Martin mother and a Belgian father. He attended the Sister Borgia School and graduated from the St. Dominic High School. He earned a bachelor's degree in international relations from the University of South Florida and a master's degree from de Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam University in environmental resource management with a specialty in coral reef ecosystems. Tatio started his career in coral reef and marine conservation projects in Bermuda, Tanzania, and as a marine park manager in St. Eustatius. He was the director of the St. Martin Nature Foundation from 2010 to 2019, where he was instrumental in establishing the Man of War Shoal Marine Protected Area, St. Martin's first national park. He was also on the executive committee of the National Development Plan responsible for environment on the St. Martin Millennium Development Goal Action Group and former acting chair of the Dutch Caribbean Nature Alliance. He was previously focal point for St. Martin for the CITES Treaty, SPOR protocols of the Cartagena Convention, and the Inter-American Sea Turtle Convention. He is the current director of the Dutch Caribbean Nature Alliance and a recipient of the Ewan P. McFarland Award for Conservation Leadership in the Insular Caribbean. Now, turning to our weather forecast for September 18th, 2020. As of 11 a.m. this morning, the center of Hurricane Teddy was located about 530 miles east-northeast of St. Martin. Based on its projected path, Teddy does not pose a direct threat to the island. And at 11 a.m., Tropical Storm Wilfred was formed and is located about 2,090 miles southeast of St. Martin. Maximum sustained winds are near 40 miles per hour with higher gusts. Some slight strengthening is possible today, and weakening should start this weekend and continue into next week. This system is not expected to impact land. The Meteorological Department of St. Martin will continue to monitor these systems and update the public accordingly. So the outlook through Sunday midday, partly cloudy with isolated showers possible. Now let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, President of the Windward Islands Teachers Union says online education is a new reality for everyone. We'll have a detail to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News. In other news for you at this time, Bell Realty Company made generous contribution to the education on St. Martin. The Bell Realty Company donated several computers and printers to the 7 public schools as their contribution towards education during this corona pandemic. This generous donation will assist the schools in providing online learning to the students attending the public schools on St. Martin. One of the representatives, Mr. Russell Bell, elaborated on the importance of education and the ability for students to be able to continue their education in spite of the current worldwide COVID situation that requires a new virtual reality. This family-owned business has been in existence on St. Martin for 50 years, and we're elated to be able to contribute to the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport with this venture. Minister of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport, Dr. Randall Rodolph Samuel, expressed his sincere gratitude to the Bell Realty Company and the Bell family for their generous contribution to education on St. Martin. And with the opening of the school year 2020 and the challenges of online learning, President of the Windward Islands Teachers Union, Y2, Mrs. Claire Elshot, responding to a question from SXM Daily News' Ricardo William about the complaints and concerns from the different school boards and online teaching and education, Mrs. Elshot says that it is a new reality for everyone.
We are having a lot of complaints. And it's not only from the teachers, to be quite honest with you, we are even having complaints from the parents and also from concerns from the different school boards pertaining to the online teaching and the online education. You can imagine that if you are speaking about secondary school students, you would it's a new reality for everyone, but you would imagine that those students would adapt themselves very quickly to this situation. However, the fact that it is at home and every home environment is different and can be different, you have a lot of interventions that are taking place in the sense of whatever is going on sometimes in the house and in the home situation with parents or moving up and down, younger siblings moving up and down, that is causing a number of distractions to the teachers. We also have students that are technically savvy. So what they're doing is they are putting their picture as if they are there. Some of them are also recording the classes, but they are not physically in the class at that time. Even if they record it, of course, we expect that they might be going through the recording afterwards. But for whatever reason, they are a little savvy. And then what happens is that the teachers are now realizing certain things, because when the teacher call on little Johnny, Johnny isn't there. No response is coming from Johnny because they have set their device to a certain manner to camouflage as if they are in there. Even though some programs, you as hosts would have to give permission to record. However, they get through to know how to record, do the recording. They are doing that. And I mean, I don't want to say in that sense that it is anything so bad, but the fact of the matter that you are seeing these things as teachers. As teachers, they are questioning how objective would let's say, even evaluation of these students be in the future if this is all allowed to happen. It is very, very tiresome for a number of teachers. You know, it varies from the subject because it depends on which subject you are giving. The fact that it is in your private home also, not having that blackboard set up, but you have a different setup that is not a usual setup that you were trained for, explaining certain things to students, it all depends on the subject, can be very, very demanding and tiresome for.
And in more news, the Red Cross and Nature Foundation St. Martin hosted their first tree planting event in the Mac Primary School at the John A. Gumbs campus as part of their Regreening St. Martin project. The project, an initiative of the Red Cross and the Nature Foundation St. Martin, organized its first tree planting event within this school garden last Saturday, whereby more than 60 trees, shrubs, and herbs were planted, and over 60 volunteers came out in support of the project's mission to restore environmental resilience and aid in the building of the agricultural program within the MAC Primary School, John A. campus. Volunteers spent their morning planting trees, planting tires which were recycled, varnishing wood, tire placement, and preparing the area for the building of a greenhouse. The regreening team is looking forward to having more successful events like this one and would like to encourage the public to stay tuned for the upcoming tree planting opportunities. The next tree planting event will be held at Seaside Nature Park in K Bay in mid-October. Stay connected for date releases, and to sign up to volunteer for this project, you can email them at evanputten@redcross.nl or visit naturefoundationsxm.org. Reservation, Regreening St. Martin. The release reads in part. And still to come, more of the stakeholders who participated in the sports open house last Monday. We'll have the details to that story when SXM Daily News returns. Welcome back, viewers. And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News, this evening we will be featuring more stakeholders who participated in the virtual Sport and Creative Industries Open House last Monday, September the 14th. The two stakeholders that will be featured this evening are Elena Taylor, who is an artist, and Julie Alcin of Julie Alcin Photographics.
My name is Yelena Taylor, and I'm from Russia originally. I'm an artist. I was inspired by my grandmother and my mother. They were painting, and they did beautiful portraits, beautiful style. My mother was also a hairdresser and stylist. I look at them, and they inspired me. I studied traditional art, and I specialized in batik. I use different styles of painting. For example, watercolor, oils, acrylic, batik colors. Batik, it is a special handmade work, painting on fabric with a unique style, unique design, and it can be done especially for you, what you want. Like a piece of cloth, a piece of artwork, like a painting, or even umbrella, even whatever you want.
My name is Julie Alcin, and I'm representing Julie Alcin Photographics. I'm a freelance creator, and I dabble in a mix of arts of photography, graphic design, web design, and I've been doing these for like at least 2 years. With photography, I like to do family portraits, pet photography, events, and models. I love shooting with models and seeing how creative they can be. So for today's shoot, I met my client at the Emilio Wilson Park. We discussed doing an African-themed shoot to showcase the cultural beauty of the park. The model showed up in a colorful attire, long skirt, purple heels, and a vibrant head tie. We decided to shoot against the natural scenery to showcase the beauty of her outfit.
And in this final note, due to the death of a family member, there will be no SXM Daily News on Monday, September the 21st, 2020. We apologize for the inconvenience, and our heartfelt condolences are extended to the relatives and friends of the late Maria Richardson, who are left to mourn. And with that, viewers, brings us to the end of this edition of SXM Daily News. I am Valerie Van Putten, thanking you so much for joining me this evening. And just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing.